I tried beating Cuphead with a 300% completion and then asking Steam for a refund. If you are not familiar with Steam's refund policy by now, if you own a game on Steam for less than 2 weeks and have played it for less than 2 hours, you can get your money back. Now you might be thinking to yourself, games usually can only be completed at 100%, so what exactly is 300%? Well, I found a Reddit post that contains an image which shows all sorts of statistics about Cuphead as well as some guides, but we're only interested in the percentage completion section. The image also states that if you beat a boss on regular before you beat it on simple, you will get the combined amount of percentage. However, it doesn't state that you can get the full percentage by beating a boss on expert, which technically isn't possible. But on the PC version of the game, you can go into the config, look for these 2 lines of code and change the false to true. So when you start Cuphead, you can access the expert difficulty straight away. And this saves me a ton of time by not needing to beat regular first, which I think we can agree that is not as fun as fighting the bosses on the expert difficulty. If you want to watch the full unedited stream VOD, that will be over on my VODs channel. And without further delay, let's get into the run. Starting the run and picking Cuphead as my character, I jump straight into the impossible tutorial, as stated by gaming journalists, only to grab the coin at the end and not to learn about how to play the game. I'm not the greatest, but I do know the basics. Entering Inkwell Isle 1, I talk to Mac on the bridge, who generously gives me 3 coins and then straight into the Forest Follies run and gun. Funnily enough, this is one of the harder levels for me, because I like to just go for raw speed and throw caution to the wind, so much so I took 2 early hits and decided to retry the level. The second attempt was so much better, collecting all 5 coins in the process. Now that I have a total of 9 coins in my possession, I take a trip to Pork Ryan's Emporium and buy 2 weapons. Roundabout, one of my favourite weapons in the entire game, and also the Chaser, which will only be seen for the last part of a single boss. Then I head to the first Mausoleum, beating it with ease, gaining the Super Art 1, but more importantly, gaining access to the DLC, where I'll be heading to next. Arriving at Inkwell Isle 4, I equip the Miss Chalice charm and beat the tutorial as well, getting another coin. Then I speak to Newsycat, who gives me 3 more coins. Then off to the shop once again to buy Crackshot and the Broken Relic. I then solve the puzzle that unlocks the Cursed Relic and head straight into King's Leap, playing as Miss Chalice. That was nice. Ooh. Might be a switch to exclusive. I highly doubt that. Wow. Oh, I get. King's Leap went pretty flawless, no deaths and all coins collected just under 11 minutes into the run. Next up is the Angel and Devil, where I used one of the 3 genie wishes. But I made a bit of a mistake. I forgot to equip Crackshot, which is super handy for this fight and a lot of others as well. So I had to waste time leaving the battle. But I also forgot that I'd already bought Crackshot, so I wasted even more time going equipping Crackshot and back into the fight. I also grabbed the coin behind the bakery in the process and also went to the shop to buy the parry ring, which will be the go-to charm for most of this playthrough.
No, I have Crackshot, I just don't have it equipped. Parry ring. And the last thing we're going to buy is Lobber, and we're only going to use that for one boss as well. Wonder if you can guess it in the comments.
Initially, I was going to use Smoke Bomb for this fight, but I just didn't have the coins when I needed them. So I opted to use Miss Chalice, the Genie Wish which gives me 8 HP, and use her invincibility roll to survive for as long as I can.
Oh!
Angel and Devil is down, unlocking the Cursed Relic, but I won't be using that until after the DLC is completed. Next up is Glumstone the Giant. For phase 1, I used the Crackshot along with its special to wear the boss down as fast as possible, killing any minions that spawn and parrying the clouds to build up my cards.
No, this is bad.
Phase 2 is much harder though. Initially I was using the Crackshot and spending a lot of time on this phase, increasing the risk of taking hits, but then I started to use the Roundabout and the Super Art, getting through this phase much faster and into phase 3 with 2 health.
Nice.
Next up is Mortimer Freeze, probably the most annoying boss fight in the entire DLC.
How's the migraine? Hopefully it will not impede in my streaming privileges. Restart. Stop!
I kept taking damage early on, so I kept retrying until I had a good first phase.
Oh!
Phase 2 has a lot of projectiles that need to be dodged, but I can use the Roundabout to constantly deal damage.
No. No! Oh, this is horrendous. This is really bad. Oh my god. Oh my days. Look the f***ing... I got so lucky. I got so lucky, but I'll take it, man.
On to the Howling Aces now, which is a very unique fight, where I have to balance on the plane while dealing damage and avoiding attacks.
More like taking damage here, but... one, I guess, is livable. Because he should change now in a second.
I got to phase 2 with 4 HP, which is great. But then I completely bottled it, taking 3 hits by the annoying small planes that just would not die.
Just die, man. Holy Jesus.
I opted to reset here because during the final phase, I usually take a lot of damage. The next attempt was much better, reaching the final phase with 6 HP, using the correct shot to damage the lasers, and then using the roundabout special attacks to DPS the dog. Next up is another plane level, but this time I am piloting it and not balancing on it. I stay calm on phase 1, dodging the attacks and timing the special attack for when Esther uses the lasso, hitting the boss 7 times with a single missile and putting her into phase 2. I dodge the projectiles, use the missiles on her feet and parry the pink objects that come out of the safe, and phase 2 is over. Phase 3 initially made me question whether or not I should even attempt this challenge, but I can stay pretty safe in front of Esther and at the bottom of the screen, dodging most of the objects and being able to get in some cheap damage. And for phase 4, I just bob and weave between the sausages, getting in some more parries and use the bomb when it's available. And that is a first try Esther. Now onto Moonshine Mob, switching out the parry ring for Miss Chalice and destroying the first phase with the roundabout.
I mean, it's actually faster. If I was like actually speedrunning, that's a bit. Like if I was doing actual speedruns for like good times, like just doing the DLC is faster by default.
Phase 2 is where Miss Chalice really shines, because I can just crouch on the left side and spam the boomerang dealing damage, and also use the invincibility roll to get through the laser beams.
Oh no, that's bad. That is bad. Okay, this is fun now. Let's keep moving. Nice.
Now, the final and toughest boss of the DLC awaits. Chef Saltbaker, switching back to Cuphead, using the parry ring for the charm, and changing out the roundabout for the chaser.
Oh, okay, one is fine now. Ah! Oh, I missed the parry. See that, buddy? Nice one, box. No! Okay. Oh! I would have died. I would have died. I would have died. I wasn't going to parry that.
Woo! Man, that was so unbelievably close. I would have missed the parry right there and then at the very end. But thankfully, Saul Baker died just in time. And the DLC and most of the harder bosses in the game are defeated in a little over 30 minutes, which is pretty good pace. Returning back to the homeland, I go to the shop one last time to buy the Lobo, which again will only be used for a single boss, and then head to the root pack with the Cursed Relic equipped. If you don't know what the Cursed Relic is, it's basically the best charm in the game, eventually when it becomes the Divine Relic. It starts off as the Cursed Relic, reducing your HP to 1 and gives you a random weapon every time you start shooting. You do, however, get the bonus from a few other charms, albeit in their weaker forms. Back to using the Cursed Relic, and this time it's for Goopy Legrand, a boss which is surprisingly annoying with the random weapons and 1 HP. Oh. Oopie Goopie is eventually defeated, and I won't be using the Cursed Relic again until Inkwell Isle 3. The next opponent is Hildeberg, but even though I've already completed one of the harder levels in Esther, I still have to read the tutorial in order to unlock the fight.
We got the parry.
I took a couple of hits pretty early, so I decided to retry the level.
There we go. She's gonna ha-ha. Oh no, she's gonna tornado, okay.
For the phase with the bow and arrow, I wait until the blue stars have spawned in before using the bomb, so I can blow them up at the same time as dealing a lot of damage to the boss.
Nice.
Another difficult boss defeated, well, for me at least, and it's onto the Treetop Troubles, playing as Miss Chalice. Flying through the level, picking up the coins, and actually not being in any trouble whatsoever. The last boss of Inkwell Isle 1 is Cagney Carnation, a boss that is very susceptible to the roundabout. I do find this fight really annoying though, because the parries are pretty difficult, but as long as I can smash through the first phase, the rest is a cakewalk.
Nice, we'll find here. Unless, or look at that. Oops.
After defeating the boss, I head behind Chip to grab the coin from the trees, and that's Isle 1 conquered in less than 45 minutes, which is great pace considering I have already beaten the DLC.
What? Where is spawn on me, man? Come on. Oh.
Well, I was pretty close to defeating Beppy first try, getting right to the end of the level and dying, which is the worst possible death that this run can have. Second attempt was much better, flying through the level and not taking any damage on the final phase. Straight after the Beppy battle, I speak to Canteen Hughes and he gives me the bombs for the plane, which are super helpful for both of the plane battles on Inkwell Isle 2. And speaking of plane battles, Jimmy the Great is up next.
Oh, okay, that's fine. One hit's okay. Okay.
This attempt was just brutal. The first hit was okay and I could live with that, but the hits on phase 2 and phase 3 were just absolute throws. And then dying on the final phase was a big time loss.
Slight mishap, but it's okay. We need to not let it get to us. Okay, we're fine now.
The next attempt though was much better, reaching the final phase with 3 HP and dodging the attacks much better. Back to ground now, and the next boss is Baroness von Bonbon, a fight that has 3 random mini-bosses before I can take her on in a 1v1. I got Lord Gob Packer first, with his 2 little minions. It gets destroyed with the roundabout. Convincing Candy Corn is up next, who also gets destroyed by the roundabout. And the final mini-boss was Weasley Waffle, which, you guessed it, was dispatched with ease by the roundabout. Taking on Von Bonbon herself, I farm a couple of cards, jump around the arena and avoid the head getting thrown at me, and use the super when it's available. Stay alive for a little bit longer and Von Bonbon is gone.
Nice.
Onto a much easier level now, the run and gun Funfair Fever. Picking up all 5 coins, taking out a couple of mini-bosses and jumping over the hot dog at the end. Next up is a hidden coin that is in possession of Ginger. For her to give me the coin, I have to go just a little bit into the shortcut that leads to Grim Matchstick. Head back and talk to her. It's that easy. And for something that's not so easy, it's time to take on the fan favourite Wally Warbles. The phase 1 strategy is to stay high and use the bombs to rain terror from above, killing the yellow birds and parrying the pink ones if I can. Phase 2, I just dodge the incoming feathers as best as I can and parry the pink ones if they manage to stay alive.
Oh no. No.
Phase 3, open up with the nuke and stay inside the eggs until they almost close in on me. Then parry a couple of pink shots before finishing off Phase 3.
Oh no. Not like this.
And for the final phase, I can get multiple hits with the missiles if I line it up just right. But all this wasn't enough, as I took too much damage earlier on in the fight and caused me to choke right at the very end. The next attempt though was much better. I made it all the way to phase 3 with only one hit, and then farmed the pink bullet until I had max HP. But I parried one extra, meaning I would have enough cards for the full nuke, which isn't very optimal for this fight, when I would much rather have 4 missiles.
Oh, f***ed it already. I'm such a moron. Should've just killed him, bro.
Wally dies though pretty quickly, and I can take the shortcut behind the mausoleum for the Grim Matchstick boss fight, and this will be the boss where I will use the lobber. For phase 1, I like to use the crack shot and parry as much of the pink hoops as I can, as well as using the special for some extra DPS. For phase 2, I like to jump at the same time as the Little Flames jump, which reduces the chances of them hitting me while using the lobber to fire to the left. And for the final phase of Inkwell Isle 2 bosses, I picked my shots sparingly, making sure to not hit the fireballs coming out of the dragon's mouth, use the super a little while after, and just spam into it when it starts using the flamethrower attack.
Nice.
Grim Matchstick is dead, and all that's left is a little bit of cleanup. I speak to Buster, who gives me another coin. This one is a reward for getting 4 parries in a row, which I got during the Rook battle at King's Leap. Then it's off to the mausoleum on the left to get Super Art 2. Again, it's pretty easy and not too interesting. Lastly, it's off to Funhouse Frazzle, not forgetting to pick up this hidden coin along the way. Funhouse Frazzle is pretty simple. I jump between the ceiling and the ground to dodge the enemies and pick up the coins. And with all the coins acquired, Inkwell Isle 2 is completed in around 1 hour and 8 minutes. However, it's not just Inkwell Isle 3 and Inkwell Hell left. I also have to do some cleanup afterwards, so it's not fully plain sailing just yet. The first boss of Isle 3 is Rumour Honeybottoms, a boss that I seem to struggle with a lot in practice, but this time she gets absolutely juiced. Phase 1, I open up with a few roundabouts on the cop, and then use the crack shot later on in this phase because I find it quite difficult to hit the boss otherwise.
Hey.
The cop is defeated, as well as the busy bees, and the queen bee herself spawns in. Phase 2, she starts off with the bullet bees, and I attack her top part using the roundabout special attacks to deal a lot of damage. Then she spawns in the shooting triangle, which I just avoid, nothing too fancy. And then she does the bullet once again. She's basically taken enough damage to go to the next phase now, so instead of using the specials, I just farm up some cards, so that when she finally transforms, she is basically dead, and I can finish her off safely with the crack shot. Next up is another run and gun, and this one is Rugged Ridge, where I use my second Jimmy Wish and change into Miss Chalice for 8 HP. This makes it pretty easy to speed through the level, pick up all of the coins and not need to be super careful at the end of the level. And with Rugged Ridge complete, it's time to take on Dr. Carl's robot, one of the hardest bosses in the entire game.
There's gonna be some weird RNG on the thing. Okay. Oh, I done it late. What a baldy. The foreground there can literally suck my nuts. No. Oh, I pressed B the frame, I died. No. No.
That was a very rough attempt, dying right there at the very end. I had the bomb ready to go as well, but I was just a fraction too late in pressing the button. The next attempt though, he got absolutely turned into brown bread.
Boom. We're getting cooked, bro. You're so dead, bro. You are so dead.
With the hardest boss of Inkwell Isle 3 defeated, it's on to Sally Stageplay, who is a cakewalk in comparison.
Oh! Ooh. Where are you going? He's dead in a second now, yeah. Ooh. Scammed. Stop being greedy.
With Sally dead, I move on to Werner Vermin, a boss that can be pretty 50-50, mainly because I'm pretty bad at dodging the bombs early on.
Okay. What is this?
I scraped through and then went completely ham on phase 2.
Okay, brutal. Yeah, that one was kind of hard as well. Somebody get investor. There's everybody. You sucker.
And for the final phase, I do some damage with the roundabout until the ghosts spawn and then use the super. Oh! Oh! 3 more bosses on Inkwell Isle 3 remain. The first one is Captain Brinybeard, a really fun boss fight with lots of different attacks to keep track of.
Mate, can you just give me a break? You know what?
The first attempt didn't go too well. I took a lot of early damage and that was enough for me to retry the level. The next attempt was much better, being able to hit all of the parries and taking minimal damage, even with a few close encounters. The last phase is very simple. I use the crack shot to hit the boss's very small hitbox, jump over the orange bubbles and crouch for the laser beam, making sure I am dodging the barrel at the same time.
Nice. But the bow is fuming.
There are 2 bosses left in Inkwell Isle 3, but I first decided to do the last run and gun of the 300% playthrough. This one is Perilous Piers, and I opt to use Miss Chalice one last time, as well as my final Jimmy Wish. Again, blasting through the level, making use of the invincibility dash, the double jump, and collecting all of the coins in the process.
Ooh, that was close. Bravo!
Next up is the final Mausoleum, which again is an absolute breeze, and I get the final super art.
Nice.
Carla Maria is next in the menu. Phase 1 has a lot of RNG, but she is pretty nice to me, giving me some objects to parry, even if some of them were tight squeezes. Then she transitions into a mini Hydra, but I can do a lot of damage to the extra heads just by using a single missile, making it much easier to dodge the spammy attacks with the many projectiles.
Holy Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
On to phase 3, where I can instantly use the nuke to deal a lot of damage and eventually wipe her out. One more boss before Inkwell Hell, and it's the Phantom Express, and probably the easiest boss in this entire isle. I start off by using the roundabout and facing left, and jumping up and down, so I can take out the various eyeballs and do a ton of damage to the boss. Then for phase 2, it's very easy to dodge the hands, and I don't even need to move the cart. Phase 3 exits as fast as it arrives. I spam the right head with the roundabout and it dies pretty quickly, and I can safely use the crack shot to take out the head on the left.
The music, I have it turned off so when I edit, I can edit in my own music.
And for the final phase, all I need to do is parry the pink tail. Focus on not getting hit by the steam and the fireballs, and let the crack shot do the work. Inkwell Isles 1, 2, 3 and 4 are all completed on Expert, and it's time to take on Inkwell Hell. The first stop is King Dice. The path I picked was 2, 4 and 8, and I was lucky enough to get extra health on both 2 and 8, taking off a little bit of the pressure. Chip was taken out without a problem. I used the combination of both crack shot and roundabout, but I did take a silly hit that I really shouldn't have. Still though, with the parry ring equipped, I managed to end the fight on 4 HP. I hit the 3 and go straight to Pip and Dot, probably the hardest of the 3 fights that I picked, mainly because I tried to use the special attacks, get stuck in place, and then get hit by the spikes. But thankfully, that didn't happen this time. Now I need a 3 to hit the safe spot, and then a 2 so I can fight Magnestein, otherwise known as the 8 Ball, probably the easiest fight in the entire game. He's defeated, and I enter the King Dice fight with 7 HP and full cards. I instantly use the super art and then start using my parry skills.
I have so much HP, I'm pretty sure I can just tank this.
Now it's time for the final major boss of this playthrough, the Devil.
Reset, you know. He's dead. He's dead. Oh. Oh, come on. I'm getting so scammed. Fuck me. I'm throwing so hard. Alright, 18 minutes to clean up. I've got to do 1 boss, 2 boss, 3 boss, 4 boss. Coin behind the sofa.
The deal with the Devil is ripped up at about 1 hour and 43 minutes. Now you might be thinking, that's it, it's over, 300% is done. But I'm still missing a few percentage points. This comes from the coin at the back of the shop, which is 0.5% on the main game, and fully upgrading the Divine Chalice, which is 3% on the DLC. I only have 4 points out of the total 16 needed, and each boss on Inkwell Isle 3 gives me 3 points, meaning I need to defeat 4 more bosses with the Cursed Chalice equipped. I start off with the easiest, Phantom Express. Now, the bosses can be beaten on the regular difficulty to gain these points, and since I have beaten every level, I have access to infinite wishes, giving me 2 HP at the start of the level instead of 1. Fishing through random weapons trying to get the roundabout for the first phase because it's just so powerful. For phase 2, I keep the roundabout and parry the pink bricks coming from the pumpkins.
Oh, this is not good. This is bad. Just give me the fucking crack shot, thank you. Oh, I've lost it. Oh my days. I don't even want to think about it.
And for phase 4, same as before, use the crack shot and dodge the projectiles. One boss down, 3 more to go, and only 11 minutes left. I grab the last coin from behind the shop, and thanks to chat for reminding me, and then take on Carla Maria.
Come on. Nice. 9 minutes for 2 bosses with the fucking relic. Oh, this is close.
Carla Maria is dead. 2 bosses remain, 8.5 minutes. Next on the execution list is Captain Brineybeard.
this is the hardest one, I find. Next one. I'll give him the boomerang, let's go. That's it, boys. Obtain great power. I think that's it. I think I've got everything. It should say 300% once I finish the, once I quit out. Just the title. Go, 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 go. Just 300%. 200%, 100%. Alt F4. Oh, yes. Get your high YouTubes in the chat. Oh, oh man, that run was hard. I'd like to request a refund. It's too difficult. It's too difficult. It's too difficult. Not enough content. Not enough content. It's not fun. My issue isn't listed. Frequently crashes. I purchased by accident. I broke 7 controllers. I broke 7 controllers. Submit request. Now we pray. And that's the run, ladies and gentlemen. 300% on Cuphead in under 2 hours. But the real question is, did Steam give me my money back? Of course they did. They gave me back a full refund for both the main game and the DLC, which is about £23 per purchase. But before I go, like I've been doing for the last little while in my videos, I want to show some insights into the run, show how long it took me to practice, how much the run cost, and what charity I will give the refunded money to. This run, surprisingly, only took 2 total attempts. The first attempt I had was about 9 minutes behind after completing Inkwell Isle 1. I managed to save some time on Inkwell Isle 2, being only 3 minutes behind the successful run, but Inkwell Isle 3 was where it all went wrong. By the time I'd beaten Werner Vermin, I was 11 minutes behind. This was because I had a terrible Dr. Carl's robot, and ended up having to brute force Werner Vermin with the cursed relic on the expert difficulty. I would need to beat all the remaining bosses in Inkwell Isle 3 with the cursed relic, but after spending another 3 minutes dying to Captain Brinybeard, I decided to call it a dead run, refund the money, double it, and give it to charity. The second attempt was obviously much better, as you've just seen that in the video. The first practice stream for Cuphead was January the 10th, 2025, and the final run completion was on the 31st of January, 2025, and that's exactly 3 weeks, going from an absolute noob to being able to complete Cuphead with 300% in under 2 hours, which is not too bad. I thought this was going to take maybe a couple of months to get good, but all of a sudden, I kind of understood the game a bit better and was able to blast through it. As for the charities, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, as I'm going to be donating to 2 charities, although one of them isn't a charity. For those of you that follow Resident Evil, Namsku over at Biorand made a brand new Resident Evil 2 Remake randomizer. He made this mod for free in his own time, and I thought I would give him a nice little donation, so that was £50 going to Namsku. But for the actual charity, I went with Red Wings Horse Sanctuary. I recently took a trip to see my friend who owns a horse. Here's a picture of me with the big chieftain, and that's pretty much why I chose this charity. I'd never seen a horse up close, and I thought it was a great experience. That's it for the video though, guys. If you enjoyed, please drop a like, it helps me out a ton, and if you've got any questions, check out the Discord server or ask me in the comments below.